Greetings, CMST 275 classmates. I am sending out this general video as a response in part to everybody's social media assignment for week 3. Last week I sent you all personal video messages, and some of you were able to access those video messages and some of you were not, which was very frustrating actually. So, trying to make sure that I can give you a personal touch and a personal view besides text messaging, I thought I would do a general video that's pretty short for the whole class about this week's assignment and a couple things I'd like to address. And then if I have any concerns on your social media assignment for week 3, I will let you know that in a private email between you and me. But real quick, today you were supposed to, or this week you were supposed to follow 35 people on Google Plus, 10 people on Google Plus besides your classmates, and to interact with them, to at least reply to one of their posts, and also to give me a report on who you're following, why you're following those people, and what you're seeing on your feed. I have noticed a couple reoccurring comments from everybody in class that I'm going to address here real quick. The first one was that I'm noticing from a lot of people is I'm a private person, or I think one of your classmates used the word secretive, and I don't like being on the internet. And I think it's really important, and I'm going to lower this window here and bring up this window here, which is a different browser with some social media on there. I want to bring up the issue that it is a mistake to think that you are ever private on the internet. Often when I ask students if they think of Facebook as being a private sphere or a public sphere, I almost always hear private sphere. Facebook is not a private sphere. It gives you the illusion of a private sphere because it gives you the illusion that you have control over your privacy. But the truth is, it is a private sphere, and I'm going to go to Facebook. Here's my Facebook page. There I am. That's me in costume. And I reposted, one has to wonder if this is copyright okay, but I reposted this post from Julian Lennon about chocolate. But this is a private sphere in two ways, in one way anyways. This is a private sphere because it's owned by a private company. Okay, they've gone public, meaning that they've sold stock, but in general it's owned by a specific company, making it a private asset in some degrees. But that is a lot different than being a truly private space, such as, for example, your living room or your bedroom. This is a public space, and it's public because the person who owns this can immediately flip a switch, and all your posts, all the pictures that you've ever put up, everything that you've ever put up about yourself, and I'm going to my page here, all of this stuff can be public in a second. Quite literally in a second, because you have no real control over your privacy. You only have the illusion of control over your privacy. So the difference between something like this kind of network here, Facebook, and I'm going to go over to Google Plus, and Google Plus is that Google Plus doesn't offer the illusion of privacy. It is only what it is, a very public networking site. Although you can affect your privacy settings in Google Plus, and I'm going to go to our circle, our class circle, so we see everybody's posts in our class. The truth is, it doesn't pretend to be a private site, and that's what makes people uncomfortable. But you have to remember the idea of privacy on the internet is an illusion, and that's really important to remember. The other thing I wanted to address is that some people say, oh, there's nothing there for me, which may be true. And I think one thing we need to consider is that social networks, each different social network quite literally has a different feeling. Facebook feels more private because we're interacting with our friends and family. Google Plus, it is a more widened network, so we may be interacting with people we know, and in some cases just our own classmates, but we probably are interacting with thematic. For example, I interact with people who all use Google Glass on this network, and we'll see if I can find my Google Glass circle. And I interact with theater people on this network and with roller derby people on this network and my students. So it's thematically for me based. So depending upon the theme and what I'm looking for, that's what I'm going to be able to find on this particular network. Now if I go to Twitter, Twitter is a different ball of worms altogether. Twitter, you have Twitter is good for many things, and including networking, but I have found that Twitter is best for getting you news and also for customer service. It's amazing if you are unhappy about something going on in a customer service vein and you try to reach out to a company who happens to have a Twitter account, you will find that you get service pretty darn quickly, and that's pretty amazing. So for Twitter, I follow famous people. I follow certain companies that I'm interested in, and I follow writers. A lot of writers use Twitter. And I also follow news organizations, and I get most of my news, local and international and national, quite literally from my Twitter feed. Okay? Now, when I'm in LinkedIn, and I don't have my LinkedIn account up right here, when I'm in LinkedIn, I get a totally different kind of feeling. LinkedIn, which we will be joining very soon, and I'm not automatically here. LinkedIn is, in general, a business network, right? And so I hate these, but they're important. 878. Okay, so they're a business. I'll have to do it later. They are a business network, and what we're going to see more on LinkedIn is more of a business flavor. So what to keep in mind, I guess, is that consider the fact that between LinkedIn, Facebook, Google Plus, or any other social network you might belong to, they really do reflect different audiences, and that's important when we're talking about communication. What audience are we reaching? That's why, as I'm having you make your social media profiles, I want them to be professional profiles so that they will better reflect a wider audience. And then when you have those personal networks that only you, and if you're with a gamer network, for example, or if you're at a dating site or something, you can change your profile to reflect that website better. But the one main public profile that you should have on the internet, if you use any social media at all, including Facebook, is a bit of a professional one, because remember, there's no such thing as privacy on the internet. And that's pretty much what I have to say about that. The last thing I want to say real quick is with Google Plus, I want to show you something cool. As I said, Google Plus is good for thematic things, right? So I follow different communities. I follow, if we look at my, let's go back to my circles here. Clicking on my Google Plus profile. If I click under more, you see all my different groups that I have. I have literary groups, Evernote groups, former students, Derby groups, higher education. I have some acquaintances, Glass Explorers, and then I have themes like happiness. And this is what's interesting, is that you can follow thematic ideas and create a thematic idea on Google+. And you do that by typing in the search here what you're interested in. So let's say you are interested in, I don't know, science, right? If you click that in, you'll find all the trending topics over here to the left that might be related to science. You'll also find people and pages that you can discuss. You can look at the best of science, and you can create this as a saved search, which would then allow you to always search for new information on science. You can do something specific like science, or like, let's say you love Lady Gaga. Now you're going to find all the information that there is out there about Lady Gaga. You're going to get posts from Lady Gaga, you're going to get posts from other people who are posting about Lady Gaga, and so on and so forth. And then you can keep this as a saved search. So you can always then turn around and come back and see what new things are being said about Lady Gaga. And this search button here allows you to look at the most recent versus the best posts about Lady Gaga. Okay, so this is something to keep in mind, because again, Google Plus is really good for us, because we'll be able to communicate on it, but also it is amazing as a thematic place. So if you're interested in a particular kind of news, if you're interested in a particular kind of agency, if you're interested in a particular kind of topic, this is the social network to go to in order to get information about that. So that's the last thing I wanted to share with you. Thank you all very much for doing your social media assignment for week 3. From this point on, we'll be interacting a lot more on Google+, so I ask you to be avid users through this point on to the end of the term. And remember, you can always get rid of all of these accounts when this class is done and over with. But for the time we are together, go ahead and try to commit to it a bit, okay? And that's it. Have a great week. And if I have something more in depth to say about your particular work on this assignment, I will leave you a private message. If you don't get a private message from me, just a grade, and it's a great grade, that's because I think you did a good job. All right? Thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. See you on the boards. Bye-bye.